Hey everybody, this is Angela Tesno here. I am so super excited you are here. I don't know if you could tell what's going on with my left eye, but you can see how it's red. The right eye is not red. The left eye is red because the left eye is a lash installation gone wrong. But you can see how I learned from my mistakes very quickly. So when this went wrong, this was like, no sis, we're not going there today. So I do have on my lashes and just some mascara today, not my extension lashes. And if you didn't see the video on the 3 L's you need to be on camera, go back and check that out. It is lotion, lips, and lashes. So no extension lashes, just my lashes. And we're going to rock with that today because I have something so super important to share with you today. And it starts with this question. Your future self is talking. Are you listening? Your future self is talking, sis. Are you listening? I want you to imagine waking up one morning and who's sitting across from you is your future self. And she has everything you've worked so hard for. She has in her hands the income, the impact, the freedom. She has everything that you ever dreamed about. Your dream life, your dream business, everything. It's right there in her lap. Would you have a conversation with her? Would you listen to what she has to say? Okay. Now, if you are willing to listen, I promise you, because I'm doing it and I have done it myself. If you are willing to listen to your future self, you're going to have exactly what you dreamed about. Stick around, stay tuned. This is not the episode you want to miss. I have a hard stop at 9:45 because I have to lock in and go straight into my Cura Circle Boss Lady community. That is where I am coaching my students, my members inside of my community on the 6-figure coach. And in that 6-figure coach, I'm literally taking them step by step how to have a launched coaching system, a business system at the end of 5 weeks. And we are on week 4. And I'm teaching them my rinse and repeat BMW system. That stands for business model workflow. So I want to get in and give you quality time today on this live podcast episode. And then I'm going to scoot over into the community and teach my wonderful students there. I want to share with you a conversation you need to have with your future self because I just turned 52 yesterday. I'm 52, y'all. 52 with a bloodshot red left eye and a very raspy voice because I'm getting over being under the weather. And it really doesn't matter because can't be stopped. Won't be stopped. I'm all in helping you. I will never stop creating ways for you to succeed in life and in business. And so I know what I'm talking about today, and I'm willing to share with you and give you a bird's eye view on what works for me so that you can experience the same thing in your life. So I turned 52 yesterday. I don't know if you can see my t-shirt. It says awesome since 1973. That's right. I'm a February baby from the 70s. And so I love being 52. It is the year of the harvest for me. I was in a planting season last year. And so in 2024 and 2025 is my harvest season. And I'm so excited. One of the things that you have to know in your life is what season you are in. If you are sure you are in a planting season, keep planting. But don't be in a planting season expecting a harvest and experience a lot of disappointment and just burnout, all because you just don't realize what season you're in. You cannot experience a harvest and a planting in the same season. So if you are in your planting season, keep planting, keep plowing, keep nurturing. Your harvest season will come. And you don't have to worry about feeling disappointed or dismayed or burned out or disgusted about the situation, because you understand what season you're in. You're in a planting season. Be happy about that. And if you have planted and you are in your harvest season, by the same token, understand that you are in a harvest season. The harvest is there, but you got to go and pluck it out. You got to go and pick it up. Wouldn't it be a shame if you did all that planting and your harvest is there and you don't grab, you don't pick up and pluck up the harvest? So what I'm telling you today is this: your future self is talking. I have a conversation with my future self all the time. My 62-year-old self, my 72-year-old self, and I had a conversation with my 52-year-old self back in the day, and everything she told me was so true. And I want to get into what all that means and what all happened and what went down and what had happened was in this episode. So you want to stick around, stay with me, because by the end of this episode, you'll not only hear what my future self told me, you'll know exactly how to take action today and start moving forward into the future life that you want to experience, that you really want for your life. You don't have to struggle all the time. You don't have to be in attack mode, fight mode all the time. There is a rest, sis, that you can look forward to, but you got to listen to your future self. You got to listen to your future self to make that happen. So sorry about the camera. If you're watching me live, I just moved my whole computer, my whole camera with my microphone. All right. I want to make sure my mic is good because of my voice today. Please excuse my voice. Please excuse my voice, y'all. All right. So, welcome back to the Little Oil Podcast, where we turn faith into action, knowledge into income, and ideas into legacy wealth. And it all starts with your little oil. So, as I told you in the beginning, yesterday was my 52nd birthday. And instead of looking back on the past and how to make the past work, I decided many years ago to have a deep conversation with my future self instead. And this is not about anything other than faith. It's not about nothing else. I don't deal with anything else other than faith. And so talking to my future self is all about that. It's all about having a conversation with who I'm going to be and let her lead and guide me. Thank you, Elle. Thank you for my birthday wishes. So glad to have you here. So most people in their journey take a look at and focus on and depend on their past and try to fix all the stuff that happened in their past. And I'm not saying you should not do that. What I am saying that a better way, a more proactive way, is to have a conversation with your future self. Let her lead and guide you on what you should be doing so that you're proactively moving forward with all the answers to the test, with all the knowledge that she has, with all the wisdom that she can give you, doing that instead of trying to fix the past, because a lot of things in your past cannot be fixed. What's done is done. And so leaning in and depending on your future self and leaning in and depending on what she has to say is such a better way. And I can prove it because it's what I've done for years. In this episode, I'm going to break down how to actually take action to get closer to your future success, the truth about making money online, even while life happens, because I made money while I was in the hospital last week. I'll tell you more about it in a minute. Why you want to depend on and lean in on coaching, I'm going to share some really good things about that. And then we're going to do a hard check-in. If you've been following me for any amount of time, you know I'm really big on checking in with yourself, making sure you have a balance of power, that you don't have an imbalance where certain areas of your life are more significantly being paid attention to, and then other parts are being left behind. That's called unbalance or imbalance. You want a strong, steady balance of power. So we're going to do a hard check-in. Soft check-ins or checking in every 2 or 3 days just to make sure that you are on track to achieving your goals in 2025. But a hard check-in, the check-in that we're going to do today, is going to be a hard stop, looking at what's working, what's not working, and then make a plan to pivot and actually pivot. You got to do it, sis, because if you don't, you're going to see June creep up on you, like pounce up on you before you know it. And a half a year is gone and you're thinking, oh my God, what have I been doing all this time? That's what happens when you don't pay attention to the check-ins that are necessary for your life. I'm begging you to do it. I'm begging you. I'm literally begging you to do these check-ins. All right. So I want to go to a few key points today, and let me get to this title, which is the title of my podcast today. And that is, I had a conversation with my future self. Here's what she told me. I want to talk to you about 3 key points that had happened. What had happened was when I had this conversation with my future self. And I want to go over 3 key points that you need to definitely pay attention to and take away from this podcast. Again, please excuse my voice, y'all. I am so sorry about this raspiness that's going on. I'm almost done with this cold, this under the weather situation. But can you see that it's not stopping me today? If I have to whisper this, I will do it because it's important for your life. There are 3 key points I want to share with you today. Key point number 1, your future self is already winning. She's already winning. But she needs you to take action now. And I'm going to share with you what you need to be paying attention to, what you need to hone in on, what you need to focus in on that she's trying to tell you. That's key point number 1. Your future self, I promise you, my God, can you hear me today? I promise you, everything that you want, everything that you desire, everything that is according to God's will for your life, it is already done. Your future self, she's already winning. She's already enjoying it. She's just waiting for you to catch up, but she needs you to take action. That's key point number 1. Key point number 2 is this. You don't need more. You just need to be willing to use what's already in your hands. Can I just say this to you? Your future self will never be hard on you. She will never have unrealistic expectations on you. She will just guide you on what you need to do to get where you need to be, to get where she is. But she's always cognizant and careful about not putting unrealistic expectations and making you do something that you're not ready for, that you don't understand. She's going to be patient and she's going to be kind, but she does expect you to take action and move with what you already have. It doesn't have to be a lot. This is the Little Oil Podcast, friend. This is the Little Oil Podcast. And if you're new here, go ahead and read 2 Kings 4, where the woman who was a widow because her husband died and left her in all kind of debt, she used the little oil that she had and she turned it into legacy wealth. That is what God has given me to share with you. All you need is a little oil. So key point number 2 is you don't need more. Stop thinking you need 50,000 followers. 1 follower. And even if that's yourself, get started with that. Stop thinking you needed the whole book written. 1 chapter. And if you don't even have that, just 1 title. You can make money off of a title of a book. Promise you. You got to hear me, loves. You gotta hear me. Because I want you to succeed. Key point number 2, you got to be willing to use what's already in your hands. Just that little bit, just that little oil. And then key point number 3, your vision needs a plan, and it all starts with a hard check-in. We're getting ready to do a hard check-in in a few minutes. All right? I need somebody who's on the live to help me stay on track today. 9:45 was a hard stop. Elle, you helped me last time, girl. I need you to help me again. All right. If you're watching on the replay, you're good. What I want you to do right now is get your pen, get your paper, or your favorite notes app on your device and get ready to take notes. You're gonna wanna capture this. You're going to want to capture this. All right. So, Awesome Since 1973 is the t-shirt that I chose to wear today because it's proof that what I'm about to tell you. Thank you, Elle. Thank you for keeping me on track, girl. Oh my gosh, I love this lady so much. And you know what? We've never even met, but I feel like we're sisters. You're going to want to capture this. So when I turned 52 yesterday, I want to tell you something. I didn't spend my day reminiscing about all the things that happened in the past. Like I said before, mostly everybody, the majority of women, even women that I know that are in my personal life, spend way too much time taking account of what happened in their past and try to fix it. They want to try to fix past broken relationships. Some relationships are not meant to last forever. Some relationships are very temporary to either accomplish something or to help somebody do something. You got to recognize who is in your relationship, why they are there, and when it's okay for them to leave. Best friends don't have to be best friends forever. You can be my best friend for 20 minutes. As long as I get you to what I was designed and required by God to get you to, or you help me for whatever reason that we need to move on, be willing to move on. So a lot of women I know spend way too much time focusing in on lamenting over the past and things they actually cannot change, and they try to fix it. Stop trying to fix your past and spend more time working on, spend more efforts, spend more mental space, spend more heart space working on what your future self is clearly telling you that you need to do. I was in the December Little All Party. That was you, Elle? Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. I didn't know. I knew there was a person there, but I didn't see a face. And that's okay. You're not required to be on camera. I totally respect that. It's totally okay. But I didn't put two and two together. Oh my God. We got another party coming up, Elle. I want you to come back to the next party. It's coming up on the 18th, I think. Let me just fact check that on my calendar. Hold on. Yeah, I got another party on the 18th. I would love for you to be there. Let's connect again. And also, I need you to let me know when you want to schedule the coaching session that I am gifting to you, because I just feel led to do that. Okay, back on track. So I didn't spend my time yesterday trying to fix whatever that happened in the past. Elle, we'll try to attend February 1. Excellent. I am so super excited that you can be, that you're going to try to be there. It's going to be awesome and amazing. Okay. So I got to stay on track, Elle. I'm trying my best. I'm doing my best. I really am. All right. So spending the time lamenting over the past trying to fix it is a waste of time. It's a waste of time. If somebody no longer wants to be in your life, let them go. And stop thinking that you have to fix it, and fixing it is going to make them stay. It may be their time. Release them. Because if you try to make someone stay in your life whose time is up, then what you're saying is, I don't care about what you need. I only want you here because it serves me. And that's not what we should be doing. If there's something, a job that you lost that you're trying to fix and lamenting over, if it is a bad relationship, if it is a wrong house you bought, all those things in the past that you're trying to fix, let them go. Let them go. And let's start focusing on what your future self has to say, because I promise you, she has all the answers. Too often, We sit with our past trying to make sense of it. Like, why this happened and why that happened and why did I have to go through that? At 52 years old, I can promise you and I can confidently say this. Everything that happened in my past, even the things that I did wrong that turned way wrong, and the things that went wrong that I had no control over. Either way, I promise you it was for my good. No, I didn't see it then, and no human will. But sitting here at 52, looking back, I refuse to waste time lamenting over, worrying over, and try to fix things that happened in my past, whether they've been issues that I caused or issues that were beyond my control. I'm not spending any time on that because my future self has so much to say. I'm really intrigued about what she has going on and what she wants me to do, and the instructions and the guidance and the wisdom that she has. She has all the answers to my test. And so the future is the only thing I can change. The past, I can't. I don't even want to. I don't even want to, because what I realized is this: everything that happened in my past, it happened for me, not to me. I'm not a victim of it. And there were some pretty horrific things, but I'm not a product of that. I don't look like what I went through because it doesn't matter. I use all of it for my good, even the awful stuff. How can it make me better? How can it make me who I was always meant to be? One of my favorite quotes by George Eliot is this: it's never too late to be or become who you might have been. Y'all, it's never too late to become who you might have been. All right. So when I had a conversation with my future self way back when, this was, oh my God, let's see, I was about 42, 43, and I have conversations with my future self in 10-year increments. So when I was 42, I had a conversation with my 52-year-old self. Now that I'm 52, I'm having a conversation with my 62-year-old self, and even with my 72-year-old self. And when I was around 42, I had a conversation with her, and I asked her a serious question. And here's what I asked her. At the time, I was, I think I was contemplating whether I should continue teaching. I had returned back to teaching for the third time. I had already left teaching twice by this time. And I was teaching here in Georgia. And I had a couple of options. And before I made my decision of whether I wanted to continue teaching or not, I sat down with my 52-year-old self, my future self at the time in my 40s. And I asked her, I said, what do you want, girl? What do you see? What do I need to know to make this decision? So let me give you a little bit of backstory, because I only have 15 minutes to tell you this story and then go on to the other 2 points. This is going to bless you. This is going to change everything for you. Because I had already taught several years in Louisiana, which is the majority of my years teaching, because I taught about 20 years. By the time I moved to Georgia, I am so sorry. By the time I moved to Georgia, I was teaching about 4 years when I had, about 2 years when I had this conversation with my 52-year-old self. And I had a couple of options. And I'm saying this to you because I love being a teacher. I've known I would be a teacher since 3rd grade. It was not a job that I was running from. It was not a job that I hated. I actually loved teaching, but I needed to make a decision on whether I wanted to continue teaching or not. And so this is the conversation I had with my 52-year-old self. I had 2 options. I could either continue teaching or I could leave. My 52-year-old self, now remember, I'm in my 40s at this time. She said, you have to go. It was a hard conversation. I'm like, but why? But how? But when? I had all kind of questions for her. And this is how she broke it down. It's not creepy or strange. It was my imagination. It was my faith. It was my inner self talking to me. It wasn't creepy. That's not what this is. I am a holy woman of God, and everything that I do is according to his word and his will. No shenanigans going on here. So as I'm having this conversation with her, she was like, okay, let's do the math. So I am teaching at the time here in Georgia, and I go on the teacher retirement website and I start putting in numbers on how much I will make when I retire. Now, you have to understand this. This is the background. This is the foundation to understand where I'm going with this. In Georgia, you have to teach 10 years to be vested. And I was 2 years in at the time when I had this conversation. Going on 4 years at the time when I had this conversation. It took me 2 years to really make the decision. It was a 2-year conversation and relationship with my future self, with my 52-year-old self, before I finally decided what I needed to do. And I'm so glad I listened to her. I'm about to tell you why. 4 years in, I decided to leave because my 52-year-old self said, girl, you can't stay. You gotta go. Here's why. You have to teach 10 years to be vested in the state of Georgia. And when I put in the numbers for my retirement, I would have had to teach 6 more years, because remember, I was 4 years in by the time I made the decision to leave. I was 2 years in when I started having this conversation with my 52-year-old self. I would have had to teach 6 more years to even be qualified for retirement. But here's the problem with that. Even if I would have taught 6 more years to make my 10, I still wouldn't be age required to receive the retirement check. And that's not the worst of it. The worst of it is this. It would have been $1,800 a month. My 52-year-old self, my 62-year-old self said, what are you going to do with $1,800 a month? Because that's only a fraction of what you're bringing home as a full-time paid employee, as a full-time paid teacher. And if that amount of money is not enough to build legacy, what is $1,800 going to do? And so my 52-year-old self, my 62-year-old self said, you got to go. And I'm so glad I listened to her. Here's why. Fast forward from 40s to 52. I'm in the hospital last week. And I made money while I was in the hospital. Why? Because I listened to her. I listened to my future self. She said this. She said, you're good enough, you're strong enough, you're capable enough, and you know enough to build a creator business. And you can use that business to build an unlimited amount of wealth. She said you could take the little oil that you have and you can build on that. What did I have at the time? Well, I had been coaching clients since 2008. It wasn't billions, but I was at 6 figures coaching. I was at 6 figures taking my knowledge and selling it through online education. That's a little oil because it's nowhere near what I need to have to solve all these world's problems that I need to solve with legacy wealth. What am I saying? The point I'm making is this. Because I listened to her and took the leap, I left teaching officially the 23-24 school year. So all of 24 I was building. All of 23 I was building. All of 24 I was planting. 2025 gets here, I'm full time. I have to be in the hospital all last week because my husband, I had to take him to the emergency room and there was an issue that we didn't know he had. And they didn't say, okay, so glad you came, go ahead and go. They said, I need to admit you immediately. They didn't wait. They didn't pause. I'm like, okay, what's happening? They got in a hurry real fast. But while I'm in the hospital, I'm making money because I listened to my future self who said, go ahead and build this creator business. Go ahead and take the little oil you have. Go ahead and take what you have and let's build something. What am I saying to you? What I'm saying to you is this: your future self has all the answers. And because I listened to her, I'm sitting in the hospital checking email and money still coming in. All because I built something one time. All because I listened to my future self and said, I tell you what, you can teach all you want. You can stay there all you want, but it will not serve you well. How does she know that? Because she saw my past, because she knows what I'm going through, because she sees what's in the future, and she knows it doesn't matter what kind of money that you make from your job and from your career, even if you love it. If it doesn't allow you to build legacy wealth, if it's not giving you legacy wealth, it's not serving you. Doesn't matter how much you love it. It doesn't matter how much I loved teaching. It doesn't matter how much I loved being a teacher. It wasn't serving me well. It wasn't serving me. It wasn't serving me financially. Because here's the thing. Yes, I was making good money, not great money, but it was allowing me to live in the zip code I want to live in and drive the car I want to drive, but it didn't pay for my children's trust fund. It didn't pay for the apartment complexes that I want to build to hold women who are running from a no good abusive husband, to give her somewhere to stay so she could get away from him. It wouldn't pay for that. It wouldn't pay for the orphanages. They don't even call them orphanages anymore. It wouldn't pay for the housing that I want to build for the children who need to get out of deplorable situations of no good parents that they need to get away from. My teaching income paid for my zip code, my car, my food, my hair, maybe a vacation here and there, but it didn't cover what I want to do with my life. And my future self said, your legacy wealth is from your business. It's from Cura. It's from your brand. You can do it, Angela. You can't spend another 6 years working for an industry that will never value you financially, because you can't win like that. And so I listened to her. And when it came down to it, she was right. Because if you work a job and you don't have paid time off, if you can't show up, you don't get paid. And if you don't get paid, you can't pay bills. But if you have a business, but if you have an income, through a business, you can make money that will show up for you when you can't even show up for it. I'm talking good. I know I am. And I'm telling you, I am pleading with you. Consider your future self talking. She's saying to you, yes, you might love your job. Yes, you might be good at it. Yes, it might be giving you what you need right now, but it won't give you what you need in the future. I listened to her, and I didn't have to worry about going to work. I didn't have to worry about calling a sub. I didn't have to worry about making sub plans. When it came to it and they said, we have to admit your husband, I was like, no problem, let's go. I was in there almost a week and I kept making money because my future self told me to. Key point number one is your future self is already winning. She knew. And she told me to take action now. I had to walk away from my job for the third time. The last year that I taught was the most difficult year I ever taught in my life because I didn't really want to be there. Not because I didn't love it, because I knew what I needed to do. She told me, Angela, you got to go. So the point I'm making with this for my key point number one, I had two choices. I could either continue teaching 6 more years, or I could let it go, build a business, and build legacy wealth all at the same time. And that's what I did, and it worked. Key point number one, your future self is always winning. She already knows what's coming in the pipeline. She already sees it, but she needs you to take action. And that's what I did. I started making plans to leave. I didn't leave right away. I planned to leave. I got rid of my debt. I put up money away so that I could have money when I left. And I'm going to be very transparent, open, and honest with you. When I did the right thing and I put money away and I liquidated all of my debt, got out of my debt, credit cards. By the time I left, my credit cards had $5,000 and $10,000 credit limits on it because I paid all my debt down before I left. I had a plan. But when I left, that plan went to pot because a family member needed money. A family member needed to be rescued financially. So I gave them the money that I stored and I used the credit card limits to continue to build my business that I didn't think I would have to use. It was horrible, but it was worth it. Why? Because God is my provider. What I didn't understand, yes, you have to have a plan. You cannot be financially foolish. But God provided anyway, and he still is. Key point number two. Key point number two. You don't need more. Use the little you have. If you have a chapter of a book written, even if it's just the title, you know you can make millions on just the title of a book. I promise you, even if you have one part of the recipe figured out, you know you can make millions on a recipe for a groundbreaking sweet potato pie that you didn't even bake yet. Even if you have 5 followers, you know you can make $1 million on 5 followers. I promise you, it only takes a little oil. The widow in 2 Kings 4 only had a little oil and she didn't even know its value. How many of y'all think that she had that oil the entire time? How many of y'all think she had that oil even when her husband was alive? I bet you it was sitting on the counter. I bet you, I can't prove it, but I bet you it was sitting on the counter. I bet you it was sitting there. She didn't know what she had. I won't let that happen to you. You have enough. You are enough. If you can save $1,000, you can make $1 million off of teaching people how to save $1,000. You know how many people don't know how to save $1,000? And they will be willing to pay you to show them? I don't care if you were able to save $500. You know how many people don't have $500? Stop thinking you don't have enough or you're not enough. Society or people who already have things have a very keen and unfair way of trying to make people think that they are above and you are beneath because you don't have what they have. That is not the truth. That's a lie. Because here's the thing, they didn't start at the top either. They started with something small. But they feel like that if they show you that they are all great, that they are all above you, and they are all big and bad, that would somehow convince you that you need them for something. No, that's not how it works. That's not how it works. Find the people that need what you know. Find the people that need what you have and authentically and unselfishly help them. I promise you, you're going to win in business. Key point number 3. Your vision needs a plan and it's time for a hard check-in. That's what this February is about. All right, so here's how it's going to work. I have 6 minutes, right, Elle? All right. Hard check-in. Why are we doing this hard check-in now? Because January is gone. I want you to look over your entire January and I want you to mentally make this foundation for your thoughts. What did I say I wanted to achieve in 2025? Based on January, how close are you to actually achieving it? Thank you, Elle. I have 7 minutes. Based on what you said you wanted to achieve in 2025, realistically, think about this for a second. How close are you to achieving it? I know Jamila is close because she's in my 6-figure coaching, baby. She is rocking and rolling, friend. She is rocking and rolling because she took what I said to heart. I think Jam was in one of the podcasts in January, and I talked about your goals and making sure you have the right goals and making sure you have milestones for those goals and making sure you have action plans for those milestones and making sure those action plans are on your daily calendar. Whatever it is Elle put down on her to-do list every day in January, I'm proof is getting done. This chick is rolling because she made a decision. So you are either in the Jam situation, Jamila, where you have done everything you said you needed to do in January, and you see traction and you see the way forward to actually achieving your 2025 goals, or you're looking at January and thinking, well, dang, Angela told me, but I didn't listen. First of all, you're off the hook. And let me tell you why. Life is a big distraction. It will get in the way. This person needs to be brought to soccer. I missed my nail appointment. My mama called me because she's not feeling good. My boss is so ignorant that he don't even understand the value of what he has. And he's so worried that I'm just going to take his job. He treats me horribly. Don't even understand I'm an asset because I'm not even staying there anyway. All those things will get in the way. And if you're not careful, they will take super advantage of your mental space and your time. And before you know it, even if you had those things written down in January of what you need to excuse me, of what you need to do to achieve your goals, even if you had them written down, all these things that happen in life, your lifing, they'll get in the way. So here's how to fix that. Don't be hard on yourself. It happens. It happens to me all the time. I had to pivot real quick a lot of times in January. But here's what you do. You look back and say, okay, where is my imbalance of power? Did I spend more time on my job trying to please the boss that hates me? Did I spend too much time watching my favorite series on Netflix? Did I spend too much time worrying about things that I cannot fix in my past? Imbalance of power. So look back in January and see exactly what you did with your time. You have to audit your time. And whatever caused you to be off track in January, refuse to let it be the majority of your space and time in February, and just get back on track. And here's how to do it. I want you to go back and here's the thing. I'm going to say this first. Make sure that what you said you wanted in January, you still want that. Make sure what you said you wanted in January, you still want that. And if you do, go back and look, okay, what goals do I have to achieve to realize this vision of mine? What milestones do I need to break down to get those goals achieved? And what actions do I need to take to make sure those milestones are achieved? Those are all your daily tasks. And then balance them out on your calendar. I'm not saying don't do lifing. Still spend time with your husband. Still take your children to the park. Still go get your nails done. Still spend time with God. But make sure that all the things that you need to do to achieve your goals are also on the list so that you have a manageable, realistic, and fair balance of power in your life. So, let's get realigned today. Here is your hard check-in. What didn't work in January, we will fix for February and get back on track. But here's the difference. Look at your list. Look at your tasks. And go over them and review them and have a meeting with your future self to make sure you're doing the right thing. She'll tell you. Your future self will tell you. I use coaching as my method, my main method of income for a very long time. I started coaching back in 2008. And the reason why I love coaching, out of all this, that there's 7 creator-driven opportunities for you. You can be a content creator full-time on social media and get monetized like that. You can create digital products. You can be a speaker. You can have a subscription. You can have a membership. You can coach. Coaching is my favorite because it provides income and impact. And I'm the girl that I don't just want the money and then be on the beach somewhere and everybody's suffering. I'm the girl that it is my purpose in life to be impactful for women. And here's how I know it's working. Because coaching is bringing me in the income, but I'm also having an impact. Time for a hard stop. Oh my gosh. Elle, thank you. I got to stop. Elle, okay, give me a 2-minute extension. Elle, I need a 2-minute extension. And I know you're shaking your head. Do not shake your head at me, girl. I need a 2-minute extension. I promise you I will hard stop in 2 minutes. But I just got to share this because this is so cool. Coaching is my favorite because it gives income and impact, because I want to impact the lives of women, and it's working. I got this in the mail from a client and a member of my community. Let me show you what's in here. Elle, can I do it? Elle, I need Elle's permission. Can I get 2 minutes? If Elle tells me she'll give me 2 minutes and she'll watch me, I'll share what's in my box. Elle. Thank you, Jamila. I'm gonna put Jamila's I gotta put Jamila's. Yes, Jamila. You are a great coach. And girl, when I tell you, because Jamila isn't my 6-figure coach, and we're gonna, okay. Elle said, preach. I'm going all in, y'all. I'm going all in. Jamila is in my 6-figure coach class, and we're about to get started at 10 o'clock. And we're gonna talk about everything that you need to do, Elle, to start making money. Girl, it's about to get good. Okay, so let me tell you why I know coaching is the absolute best creator-driven opportunity for you. Because remember, income and impact, it's paying me while I'm doing other things, while I'm building other things. Coaching is awesome. I get this in the mail from a client who I have coached and helped her launch. And she's also in my community, Dr. Lee. And I get to the mailbox and I'm like, I wasn't expecting a package. This was a huge surprise, y'all. A huge surprise. I opened up the box and y'all, a lighthouse. Y'all know I love lighthouses, right? Y'all know my dream is to visit lighthouses all over the world. I'm still trying to figure out how that's gonna work because I hate to fly. But she bought me a lighthouse. Guess where it's going? It's going on my life-size, real-life vision board behind me. As a matter of fact, I don't even call it a vision board. I call it a vision wall. Yo! Impact. Coaching, when you are literally impacting someone's life for the better, it is not just about the money. It's about the impact. And I love Dr. Lee so much. Never met her before she found me on YouTube, but we're besties. Like Jam and I and Elle and I and Dr. Lee and I, we're besties. We're literally gonna have to take a trip because we've never met in person, but I feel like we're sisters. She gave me this. So I'm putting this on my vision wall behind me. So I'm gonna figure out a perfect place to put it. And then she also got me, look at this. OMG. And then that wasn't all. It was the letter, y'all. I'm gonna read it, and I promise you, Elle, I know you're gonna kick me out of here. I'm gonna read it first, and then I'm gonna go. But I wanna tell you, if you're not coaching yet, it's an amazing income stream for you because it will give you income and it will give you impact. And here's the proof. It says, Dear Angela, I picked out a few things that I think you would enjoy. I'm so grateful to God for putting me in your path. Your life exemplifies the Proverbs 31 woman. Thank you for your encouragement and support, not only as a content creator, but as a true friend. May God continue to bless you and your family and continue to bless the work of your hands. And then she says what I always say at the end of being on camera. She says this, and this rocks me to my very core. And it's what I'm going to tell you as I sign off today. She says, always be creating. Oh my God! I love what I do. And it is the conversation that I had with my future self that led me to it. So all I want to say now is thank you, Angela. Thank you for looking out for me. Thank you for believing in me. Thank you for requiring me to leave teaching and do this full time. It was worth it and it worked. I got to get out of here. I love y'all so very much. Thank you for watching the Little Oil Podcast. Yes, Jamila, we are building together. I'm not nowhere where I want to be yet. But my 62-year-old self and my 72-year-old self, I've already had a conversation with her this week. And you know what she said? Keep going. It's working. You're going to build that house. You're going to build that apartment complex for battered women. She told me it's going to happen, and I'm here for it. Bye, Elle. You have a great day, too. Jamila, I'll see you in just a few minutes inside of the six-figure cohort. Little is much when God is in it. Thank you for joining me today on the Little Oil Podcast. Bye for now.